Deuteronomy 13. Remember the last chapter when God told us not to worship other gods? I guess he doesn't think anyone heard him, because this chapter makes that point again. But this time, God tells us what to do if anyone brings up another god. He doesn't say, don't join another religion. He quite literally wants people to kill the messengers. If a prophet, or one who foretells by dreams, appears among you and announces to you a sign or wonder, and if the sign or wonder spoken of takes place, and the prophet says, let us follow other gods, gods you have not known, and let us worship them, you must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer. The Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love him with all your heart and with all your soul. It is the Lord your God you must follow, and him you must revere. Keep his commands and obey him. Serve him and hold fast to him. That prophet or dreamer must be put to death for inciting rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. That prophet or dreamer tried to turn you from the way the Lord your God commanded you to follow. You must purge the evil from among you. What the hell? God's imagination is running wild now. I mean, if I have this right, some random dude might just show up to town like the Music Man trying to con everyone into purchasing his fancy new gods. But God is saying don't fall for it because that guy is a test. In fact, if you see someone like that, I need you to murder him. It's okay, it's all part of my plan. Remember the asterisk after thou shalt not kill? Notice that in this scenario, the prophet announced a sign or wonder would happen, and then the sign or wonder happened. God's saying, I don't care if the magical wizard man was right, because he's still wrong. Don't ask questions, just murder him. Why can't I follow that dude? He called the home run, then knocked it out of the park. That's impressive. Much better than the Christian God who just takes credit later for things that already happened. If your very own brother, or your son or daughter, or the wife you love, or your closest friend secretly entices you, saying, let us go and worship other gods, gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, gods of the peoples around you, whether near or far, from one end of the land to the other, do not yield to them or listen to them. Show them no pity. Do not spare them or shield them. You must certainly put them to death. Your hand must be the first in putting them to death, and then the hands of all the people. Stone them to death because they tried to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and no one among you will do such an evil thing again. This is really getting out of hand. Evangelism is always fine, unless someone close to you tries to convince you to join their religion. If that happens, you need to murder your child. You specifically have to throw the first stone. That's how we preserve our good moral religion. There's no trial or judge either. God is just encouraging his followers to be vigilantes. Imagine those wedding vows. Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife as long as you both shall live? Sure, because if she tries to draw me into her new cult, then only one of us will be living. The marriage is already doomed. Just imagine the wife saying, honey, do you want to try something new today? And the husband's like, haha, sure. Excuse me while I grab my wife-chopping axe. By the way, these verses are actually cited by the Jehovah's Witnesses as justification for why apostates, the people who leave their faith, must be shunned forever. Not killed, but at least shunned. These verses have torn families apart because they had religious differences. This is not harmless fiction. So much for the idea of loving thy neighbor as thyself. If you hear it said about one of the towns the Lord your God is giving you to live in, that troublemakers have arisen among you, and have led the people of their town astray, saying, "Let us go and worship other gods," gods you have not known, then you must inquire, probe, and investigate it thoroughly. And if it is true, and it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done among you, you must certainly put to the sword all who live in that town. You must destroy it completely, both its people and its livestock. You are to gather all the plunder of the town into the middle of the public square and completely burn the town and all its plunder as a whole burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town is to remain a ruin forever, never to be rebuilt, and none of the condemned things are to be found in your hands. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger, will show you mercy, and will have compassion on you. He will increase your numbers as he promised on oath to your ancestors, because you obey the Lord your God by keeping all his commands that I am giving you today and doing what is right in his eyes. Why are we murdering the livestock just because a new religion crops up in a community? What did the cows do? And I guess we're not just murdering the people. If a new religion arises, the entire city must be burned to the ground. Why? That's such a waste of city. At least keep it around for vacations or something. It takes a very weak God to be this frightened of another religion. A more self-confident God would say, "Let them try to entice you with their gods. They can try all they want, but they will never succeed because I'm the real God." Instead, this God is like, if they even mention some other God's name, you need to destroy everything you see, including the pigs. How pathetic is this religion? But okay, if a prophet tries to convert you, kill the prophet. If a family member tries to convert you, go full Tarantino at the family reunion. And if a city tries to convert you, burn the place to the ground. Because this God cannot even handle the mildest forms of religious dissent. Or, if you want to cheat on God with another God, just go with a different God you've already heard of, since it's only the unknown gods that this God has a problem with. Eh?